welcome to Banter Such. I'm Brando.
And I'm Owen.
And today we are talking about Violent Night!
Possibly the greatest Christmas movie that has come out in the last decade. And today we have a very special guest on. You have heard his voice before.
Oh, yeah.
As well, he's one of the hosts of the new podcast on the Helios Network, Master and Debaters. We have Puck.
Hey, what's up, guys?
All right, this is going to be good. Let's get into some BS.
Jingle Bell Square in the frosty air. What a bright time, it's the right time to rock the night away. Jingle Bell time is a swell time to go.
So today, I finally get to take over the Jingle Sember Spectacular.
Yes.
Brando, you had the first two episodes. The third episode's all me, and we're talking about a movie that is very near and dear in my heart. As a Grinch, I fully endorse this Christmas movie. But before we get into that, we want to give you a heads up on some stuff.
Yes. First of all, man, we want to let you know about our amazing merch at theheliosnetwork.com. We have all the Wasted Truth shirts, the Banter and Such stickers, Owen and Brando pins. Also, we have more to come because Owen and I have been like getting some of our own personal cash together, and we're like, hey, let's invest in this little company of ours. And so we're going to be having some more stuff coming up.
And
too.
Master and Debaters has told me that they're going to start doing some merch too. So.
Yes. Oh my gosh. All that's at theheliosnetwork.com.
Puck's looking at me like I'm crazy right now. And he has told me about an idea for merch that he wants to do, and I thought was great.
Go. Yeah. Well, you don't have to say it now.
Yeah.
Yeah, let that be a surprise to all of us.
Also, if you'd like to support the show, check out our Patreon. The link is in the show description. If you support us, it enables us to
smash that like button.
Yeah.
Ring that bell. Hit that dong and like that gong. I don't know. But the Patreon for us allows us to do a lot more stuff. It gives us a little bit more monetary stuff to do stuff. As well, Brandon and I, we use every single dollar that comes in from our Patreon to help the Helios Network as a whole, which is always great.
Okay, now we are ready to jump in and talk about this topic. And as we said, this is clearly the one chosen by Owen. Because yes everyone, the Jingle Sember Spectacular this year has been part 1 is cozy movies. Part 2 is uplifting movies.
Sounds
and part
boring.
3 is Violent Night.
Yes. Let's get into this. So before we start talking about this movie, Puck, show us your receipts. Why are you, and this might be my favorite story of having a guest on. Why are you on this episode of Banter and Such?
Well, so you and I went to a couple bars and drank a significant amount of Jaeger.
Yes.
The German botanical liqueur.
The German nectar.
And we got, kind of a funky hair up our butts. And we were like, you know what? Sounds like a great idea. Let's go watch a Christmas movie. And we did. And I think we probably annoyed the hell out of everybody around us with how much we were enjoying it. I was having a conversation with the movie while it was going on. But with a movie like this, it's so campy and silly that I kind of think that it's like the Rocky Horror Picture Show almost. Like, you have to interact with the movie. That's part of the fun.
Yeah, I can see that.
I would be thrilled if, like, once a year, this movie came out in theaters and I could go in there and interact with the film like I did because I had so much just joy. It hit all of the nostalgic checks for me.
Yeah.
It hit all of, like, the new things for me as an adult. Like, it was irreverent. It had, like, dark moments. It was violent. It was self-aware that it was like, I'm going to acknowledge these movies, but I'm going to take those movies even further to their logical conclusions or illogical conclusions.
Very illogical.
And we're just going to make the most self-aware, fun Christmas movie you could possibly watch in this day and age.
Yeah, I got a text from Owen like the other day, and it was like late at night. And he was like, I know what we're going to do for our third episode. It's going to be Violent Night. And I was like, just that one movie? He's like, yeah, that one movie deserves a whole
It
episode.
is worthy of its own episode. I
sent you that text message after seeing it, and Puck and I decided we pre-gamed and post-gamed this movie.
Yeah.
So we were at scoreboards after the movie, and I sent you that text, and man.
So the great thing about this movie is it is a conversation about many classic Christmas movies.
Well, hold that thought, because I want to make sure everyone knows what we're talking about, because I was aware
Do you guys
of
know
it.
what we're talking about?
Call us in now.
Great.
Yeah.
All right, caller 1. Do you know? No. So
Hi, yeah, my name is Franklin, and I want to tell you about this movie.
It's Barack Obama, and I gotta say this is my favorite Christmas movie
I
I've
ate
seen.
some peanut butter cups, and I very much liked this movie.
This is Michael Caine, and I took Michael Caine before I saw this movie. And it was fantastic.
All right, so Violent Night is a new Christmas movie. It just came out.
Yeah, it's Hopper from Stranger Things.
It is
David Harbour.
It's David Harbour, and he is Santa Claus.
Yes.
And this is literally the tagline, the IMDb tagline. When a group of mercenaries attack the estate of a wealthy family, Santa Claus must step in to save the day and Christmas.
So when I was leaving to go see this movie, like my 7-year-old daughter was like, "Where you going, Daddy?" And I was like, "Well, I'm going to go see a movie." And she's like, "What's the movie about?" And I was like, "Well, there's this family having Christmas, and some bad guys break in and try to beat them up, while Santa Claus is delivering presents, and Santa sees it, and he has to rescue them." And she was like, "Can I go with you to see this movie, Daddy?" And I was like, "No, not this one."
No,
But
that is
the
an adult movie.
That is the movie. It's Die Hard with Santa Claus.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah, it's like Die Hard meets Scrooged
Meets Home Alone.
Home Alone meets The Santa Claus with Tim Allen.
Well, what were you saying about the classic tropes, though?
I mean, so I think this one leans into like, well, I don't know if it's classic tropes.
Well, I don't mean that in a negative way. Those elements, you know.
It acknowledges iconic previous Christmas movies.
Yes.
In a tongue in cheek way, absolutely references Die Hard. It references
Home Alone.
Christmas Vacation.
Mm-hmm. In more ways than one, because an actress from Christmas Vacation is in
literally
this movie.
is in the film.
Was that his wife?
Yeah, the mom.
The mom was the mom.
Yeah, Beverly D'Angelo.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
She looks like she was wearing like a bag.
They get Beverly
a wig or
D'Angelo
something.
back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she was great. They were all great.
She was fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
she's this billionaire asshole.
Oh yeah,
that's
they
the
all
thing.
like. That's what one of the beautiful things is like they make the family so hateable.
Oh yeah.
Like, 'cause, I mean, you have the suck up daughter, you have her dumbass Jean-Claude Van Dumbass.
That's what she called him, Jean-Claude Van Dumbass. Oh my god,
actor,
and he thinks he's so cool.
And like his gift to Beverly D'Angelo is the script for a plot
It
so
was
that
a
she
pitch.
can that she can invest in.
Yeah.
You've got the shitty kid that's just an Instagram influencer.
Yeah, the influencer kid. Yeah.
And then you have
the older son,
the son who is trying to redeem himself.
Yeah, but he was also an asshole. He was like a billionaire asshole.
He wasn't
too.
great.
Yeah.
And then you have
his
you have such a full story arc for so many different characters.
The estranged wife.
You have the estranged wife and the estranged
Alexis Louder.
husband.
Yeah.
Who eventually find their way back together.
Classic.
You have
the innocent child.
The one person in the entire film, which is the child,
Trudy,
that believes in Santa Claus. Was that Bertrude?
Trudy.
Yeah, Gertrude.
Gertrude is the mom.
and Bertrude.
Yeah.
They named him after the mom.
Santa Claus. So once again, another Christmas movie, Bad Santa Claus. Or Bad Santa.
Yeah.
They have an alcoholic, burnt out Santa Claus.
Oh yeah.
That once again finds his faith in Christmas, his own holiday, because of the faith of a child.
Yeah.
And then you have intermingled through that, you've got the Grinch, John Leguizamo.
Scrooge. His name is literally
Mr.
Scrooge.
Well,
yeah,
so
Scrooge.
I mean,
all the terrorists had Christmas names.
Christmas
Yeah.
names. You had Frosty, you had Krampus,
Tinsel,
Peppermint,
Frosty,
Peppermint,
gingerbread.
I love
candy
like
cane.
I love like
Sugar
kind of
Plum.
like there's like a lot of like action movie with the badass woman who's like kind of silent with like the slick back grease hair.
She was
that only
straight
uses
from
knives.
Die Hard with a Vengeance.
All he uses
Oh
knives.
God, that's right.
She was straight up the dude's wife from Die Hard with a Vengeance.
And there was also like this very clever underlaying of classic Christmas songs.
Yes. Yes. That was in the soundtrack.
They were just orchestral versions of them that were subtly laid in behind dramatic scenes.
Yes.
Like Silent Night, like Jingle Bells, like Frosty the Snowman. But it was like a full symphony orchestra that was narrating this very stupid, silly holiday movie. So you have these very there is so much fucking French horn in this movie.
The soundtrack for this movie is insane. And that's one thing I noticed is like there's either violence or ridiculousness happening on screen. And the soundtrack behind it is like Christmas songs.
Yeah.
That are
you would have thought like the famous Star Wars composer.
Oh, John Williams.
I wanted to say John Williams. God damn it. John Williams.
It's like he made it.
John Williams did the soundtrack for Home Alone.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Which is dumb to even think about, right?
Yeah. It's a great soundtrack.
It sounded like the Home Alone soundtrack.
That's the thing. So the movie looks like a violent action movie, but it sounds like a cheesy Christmas movie.
But the way it is shot, it is also still shot like a Christmas movie.
And even the tone, there's like the tone and even the kind of moral of the story. It's still cheesy Christmas movie. Like that's the thing.
It's like it really does fit into the feel good.
Yeah.
Like I felt good
with violence.
After I saw the movie.
Yeah. Like I mean at the end of it, you were like very like, no. Santa can't die. What?
Yeah.
No.
So it was great because it opens up with David Harper as Santa Claus.
Yeah, we need to talk about that opening scene.
He's getting drunk. Harbor, whatever.
Bour.
He's getting drunk at a bar.
Yeah. He's in between shifts.
Yeah.
And there's another Santa sits down.
You have a recreational Santa interact and was like, hey, buddy. You know, why do we all do this? Like, we do it for the kids, right? And he's like, the kids they just consume.
He's jaded. Santa's jaded. He's lost his faith. Yeah.
He's like drunkenly steering the fucking sleigh out of the city.
Well, that's
like a woman chases him up onto the roof.
And it's a magical moment.
Yeah.
And then he throws up on it.
He throws up off the sled onto this poor old British woman.
But the thing is they play this magical Christmas moment straight with a straight face, and the music is swelling, and it's this beautiful visual scene. She's on the rooftop.
The moon's bigger than you've ever seen it.
And
the moon is a huge backdrop.
Yes, and it's this magical Christmas scene, and then he's like, and you're like, oh my god.
And that's what's great.
I mean, that really sets the tone.
Oh yeah,
for the rest of the movie.
You know what you're in for.
You know what you're getting into.
This movie is meant to be like Puck. You said it. Like it's very self-aware. It's campy, right? Like it knows what it is. It is playing up to that to a level which is so fun because, like. Yeah, it's Die Hard with Santa Claus.
Yeah.
That's the whole entire point. So, like, he eventually gets to this house where John Leguizamo, who plays Scrooge,
which I didn't know he was in this movie.
Oh, man.
He walked in, I was like, oh!
I think you said it, I forgot what episode of Brando, but you said it where he's like, he's such a great number two. Like, he is fantastic in everything he does.
Yeah.
Because of that, like, and he just plays such a great guy. So, basically, he's like this mastermind mercenary.
Yeah.
And he knows that Beverly D'Angelo, Gertrude,
the billionaire mom,
the billionaire mom, just got a shipment of like $1 billion.
Yeah, it was 300 million.
300 million that was meant to go
from the government
to go to Iraq or Afghanistan,
to some warlord
that just got disappeared in the haze of war.
So he gets a group together and like besieges the house, right? Like besieges the house and is like trying to
break
get
into
them,
the vault.
Yeah, to break into the vault. Die Hard.
Yeah, exactly. And even all of the terrorists, every time they do something, the way they're executing their plan, it is very much like the criminals from Die Hard.
They're just dumb.
Yes.
Yeah. And then so what ends up happening is this happens while Santa Claus is delivering presents to the house, and because he's so drunk, he can't use his Christmas magic.
Yeah, so he stops for the cookies and home baked. and then he goes for the milk and then eyes the very expensive liquor cabinet and he finds a bottle of cognac that's like, ooh, the pre-war stuff. And then sits down in a massage chair and falls asleep.
I love how Santa's just rifling through their stuff, man.
Yeah.
It's Santa Claus. Yeah, of course he fucking can. He wakes up and there's just a mercenary that's now trying to kill him. And let me tell you, that was the greatest way to start. Like, all right, cool. Because the mercenary and the action scene. The action in this is really good.
Yes, we need to talk about the action.
They did not, to pun intended, pull any punches.
No, I was watching this. I'm like, oh, you can tell this is made by some real stunt people.
I mean, so what? The first actual fight is when he is trying to talk down the guy and ends up killing him with the electrical lit star, right?
No, that's the second one. The first one is when he's in the massage chair room and he's hiding behind the Christmas tree, and the guy comes in with the machine gun and he scares off the reindeer.
Yeah.
And he fights that guy and he knocks him out the window.
Oh, and he falls onto the icicle.
Onto the icicle, yeah.
Which
and it's like, it's legit like you're watching the fight choreography, you're like, oh, this is really good. Like it's like almost like a John Wick where you can tell some stunt people had influence
I guess that's part of it, where like I think a lot of modern day action movies are taking the page from John Wick and employing John Leguizamo apparently, but also being like
the two Johns.
We have a good guy character that is doing a thing that maybe is in some sort of dark point of his life, and then someone comes into his life and forces him to be his prior self.
Oh yes,
his violent prior self, which in this case used to be a unnamed Viking
warrior.
Yeah. Well, hold on to that because I want to talk about his backstory, but I feel like we got to talk about that action more, because then there is that scene where he fights the guy with the star.
Yeah.
In this, like the guy who's overwhelmed and he's just trying to keep up.
It was very Jackie Chan-ish, where he's like using the surrounding scenery. He's really chewing on the set. Like I'm just gonna use anything to defend myself from this guy.
He's like crashing these Christmas ornaments into the guy's head, and he's unfazed because they're just Christmas ornaments.
And then he finally kind of snaps and kind of
he finds the star,
dives back into his former self, and like brutally stabs a star into this man's face, and is completely unfazed that this guy's face is now on fire.
And then he plugs it in after he stabs it.
Takes his walkie-talkie, very Die Hard-esque.
Oh, yeah.
Starts having a conversation with the main villain, and then goes back to the scene of the crime at one point, and the dude's face is even more on fire.
And he just leaves it there. There's no mention of it or anything. It's like a background element, and it's just absolutely fucking hilarious.
And there's so many scenes where the action, and they use different kinds. Like there's that first kind of Jackie Chan, I'm just trying to grab stuff and fight. But then later on, you have a scene where like he's got his hammer and he's fighting like 10, 15 dudes.
Yeah,
like they have so many different kinds of action that like it doesn't get boring. Like the movie is simple enough to where you're like, this is what the movie's about, but it keeps doing that, and it's still entertaining.
It almost has like an element of like The Last Action Hero, where he just finds more and more creative ways to kill these anonymous bad men.
Oh yes, they're all just
So Christmas related gear.
So what ends up happening is the main dad, Jason, he has a daughter, Trudy.
Yeah.
And gives her a walkie-talkie, and it's like, hey, this walkie-talkie goes directly to Santa. And he says it as a joke, just to try to
not a joke. It's like one of those dad things.
It's trying to get her mind off the fact they're being
what it was
held hostage.
He didn't take her to see Santa that year.
Yeah.
Is that what it was? Because like him and his wife are estranged. Yeah. And he's finally trying to make amends, and like Trudy is really sad because the Christmas tradition was that dad would take her to see Santa Claus. And he was like desperately going through his old toys from when he was a kid.
That's right.
And found
the
walkie-talkie and wrapped it up as like a special gift.
And what ends up happening is Santa Claus
gets
the other walkie-talkie.
Well, he gets one of the villains' walkie-talkies. And he
somehow
changes the channel to try to call the police. And he gets the little girl. She's like, Santa Claus? And she's trying to tell him what she wants for Christmas. He's like, girl, you have to call 911.
Yeah. And then like Santa has that moment where he is now out of the building and he's going to leave, and then knows that he looks through the window and sees the hostage situation happening. And like Trudy's sitting there talking to him, and he's like, Trudy, I'm going to get in there. I'm going to take care of you. I'm going to save your family.
And my favorite thing is, because like we keep talking about how meta or self-aware this movie is she goes, okay, well, I'm hiding in the attic now, and I'm going to do like Home Alone. I'm going to make traps.
And he's like, yeah, do that.
Yeah,
Are we
go
talking
ahead.
about
Yeah.
the Home Alone scene now?
And so then it goes to eventually, like, the bad guys are trying to find her.
They find out she is in the attic.
They find out, and like the ladder down to the attic is there, and she 100% Homes Alone's it, where there's a nail,
Well, there's several nails at the foot of the ladder,
and then
and the villains
one,
look at it and they're like, "Are you serious?"
and we all be like, "Yeah, that's how it would work. If you literally tried to do Home Alone, everyone would spot it." And like,
Well,
okay,
yeah, I
this
mean,
is
like
funny.
that's the self-aware joke. Is that like
This is stupid.
If
Yeah.
someone was going to do actual Home Alone pranks, the ramifications of that are that people would be straight up fucking murdered.
violent, yeah, it'd be violent. And they see the one nail on the ladder. And
Yeah.
he's like, whatever.
He's like, yeah, if you're gonna trick somebody, they can't see
Yeah.
it. And
But-
he steps up to the next one,
And
which
it's
is sawed in half.
and he doesn't notice. And he falls, and that one single nail goes in through his lower jaw.
Oh.
Dude, the entire theater I was with went, oh.
Oh yeah, like that was like no one expected that. Goes like just straight, and
His
then he
mouth
finally
is open.
pulls
He's like,
himself
"Oh!"
off,
Yeah.
and then falls back into all the broken glass and nails and shit, and he has like pull himself out of that. Oh my god!
What's funny is then they get up to the attic, and she does have these Home Alone traps.
the bowling balls.
The bowling balls,
and,
yeah.
and they're like various levels of effective, because some of them the villains like easily like steps around this, but then when something is effective, it like genuinely hurts them. And then she gets to the end, and like the villain is still there. She's like banged up, but she gets to the little girl and just pulls out a gun. It was like because the girl's like doing like a slingshot at her, like a
Yeah.
tennis ball. And stuff
She
like that.
shoots, I think, like an actual like a weight at her or something. That actually hits her.
And the villain's like, "Fuck this!"
I'm just gonna
like,
fucking
"Gun out."
kill this kid. And then Santa comes through in the end
Yeah, last minute save.
and saves her
there
with
we go.
Death Dealer or whatever he fucking called his sledgehammer.
Well, okay, so you mentioned that earlier is Santa's backstory, and I was not expecting that from this movie, but they gave Santa a backstory, and it was
Yeah.
pretty awesome.
So it's just enough that it teases kind of like, okay, this is who he was, but they don't really over-explain it.
Yeah.
There's like that cutscene of him on a battlefield with a hammer in his hand.
Yeah.
And
he's
kind of
tattooed up. He has all those like rune,
There
like
is that
Viking
point
runes.
where like
yeah.
after like what is it, the second fight where he has to repair himself.
Oh, yeah.
Because he's been stabbed.
He takes his Santa coat off, and he's
He-
covered in tattoos.
He's covered in Viking rune tattoos, and he takes tinsel
Yep.
and sews his wound shut, and then bandages it up with wrapping paper.
Yep.
He wraps himself up. Yeah.
And the amount of times like everyone's like, well, like how does this work? I don't know. It's Christmas magic.
Well, and I love that because he was like, I was a normal person.
Yeah, he
like,
doesn't even know how he is Santa.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, and it doesn't explain that. It just gives us enough to where, like, in his backstory, he was this Viking warrior and he was very violent and he killed a lot of people. He was very, very bad. And somehow, I guess, to make amends for his past life sins or whatever, he
Somehow he
became Santa Claus to bring, like,
Niklaus.
yeah, and he doesn't even understand the magic or how
Right.
it works.
He just kind of is what he is.
Yep.
Yeah, he's just like, I have to do this.
He
and
did
this is what I
have
have to
kind
do.
of like an affectation with the reindeer that was similar to Tim Allen's Santa Claus, where he talks to them like they are individual personalities.
yeah, and he argues with them.
Yeah, he like argues with them too. Like,
Fuck you, Prancer.
yeah, he's like, guys, are you fucking serious? This is so unprofessional, like shitting on roofs.
who crapped on the roof again?
But man, so eventually what happens is like there's this whole scene and it's kind of like the Raid Redemption where it's just him alone in a room and it's just
Talking about when he's out in the barn.
yeah, an
The kill
unlimited
squad.
amount
like-
of bad
like
guys
he's-
just
he's-
running after him.
He's about to lose. Like he is on. Like he is just. He's John McClane his way through
Yes.
a handful of
He's beat up.
villains already, and yeah, he is showing the wear and tear of actual physical confrontation, and he is on the mic with Trudy.
Yep.
And I think this is it. I think this is the last
Yeah.
Christmas, which he had said at the beginning of the movie. That's kind of a callback. Like this might be the last Christmas because I'm just fucking over it.
And
And
now
then,
it's 'cause he's gonna
and then
he's gonna
Trudy
be
was
killed.
like
Yeah.
with the power of belief of a
She's the
child,
little girl. Yeah, she's the yeah.
he looks up and sees a fucking sledgehammer on the wall. And it's like, All right.
Here we go.
Checkmate.
So
Let's
my favorite
go.
part, so like I said, like Puck and I pre-gamed it, like we pre-gamed this episode, and we were like sitting there, and he's like talking with Trudy. He's like getting all the traps ready to like slaughter the endless amount of bad guys that come in, and he puts a candy cane in his mouth.
Oh my gosh!
And Puck
like giant
literally,
candy cane. Yeah.
Puck literally goes, "Oh, he's turning that into like a steak." He's gonna like stab a dude
I did
with
not
that.
see that coming.
And I
though.
just started dying laughing because I fucking knew Puck was right. Like I'm like, yeah, of course, that's what he's
pulls
about to do.
He pulls a candy cane out of his mouth, and it's
He's
sharp.
licked it
where
into
he's-
a shiv.
and he stabs people with
Yes.
it.
Like hardcore stats, people. Like if
the
anybody
eye?
listening has watched the first season of the second season of Daredevil, where they introduced
Punisher.
the Punisher.
Oh yeah.
And the Punisher is locked into a jail cell with like 10 other convicts convicted of murder to try. The Kingpin has tricked him, and now he's gonna die. And he literally just stabs his way brutally
Yeah.
through 10 different people. Could not. The only difference is that the Punisher was wearing a Santa suit.
Dude.
Yes.
That's a great way to put it. 100%.
It was
But dude,
gnarly.
that fight scene
So
alone
much blood.
sold me on the movie. Like I was already
Yes.
sold because I fucking loved the movie, just like how campy and fun it was.
the shed scene.
But
yeah.
dude, that fight scene,
They didn't hold back on the violence.
yeah. And I think it was overlaid with, I want to say, Silent Night.
It was.
It was
Yeah.
overlaid with that, so they had like
Something
that big
like that.
symphony of like Silent Night going, and it was just absolutely insane. Like they did not hold back on
Well,
it.
that- so that was
I
when
mean,
the-
it was more akin to John Wick than Die Hard.
that
at
scene
point.
was
Yeah.
because the whole kill squad comes in and they're
Doesn't
armed to
he
the
throw
teeth.
somebody into a snowblower at
Yes,
one
he
point?
does.
He ties them together and tosses the rope into.
Oh shit! I'm like it's all coming back to me now.
The grinder. What was
Fucking
the
Whitney
the,
Houston
the,
over here.
the fucking wood
Or
chipper
no,
or
it's
whatever?
sorry.
But yeah, I mean, like, and he
There's
fights
a
all
point-
these guys with this hammer, and it's just straight action.
Isn't
and
there
it's like,
one
this
point
is
where
awesome.
he literally just puts his hands inside of skates and is
Yes!
just punching people? with, I think he
with
literally
ice skates.
chops a dude's head in half, like
Yes.
against like a wooden support beam
Yeah,
of
yeah.
the garage, and just punches him with a fucking ice skate
skate.
and just literally decapitates.
I think it was like through the mouth, wasn't it, or
Yeah.
something like that?
Something
Yeah.
like that.
Dude, it's just like all this stuff is just
Wild.
so over the top.
Wild.
Oh yeah,
I mean, if you want to talk about like over the top, like the murder of the John Leguizamo's
Oh.
character at the end, talk about an over the top, like
how he wins.
iconic death scene of a villain.
Yeah,
Like, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but that has never been seen in cinematic history.
No.
So they set it up where Santa has to like touch his nose.
Yeah, that's pretty common. Yeah, he does his magic to go up and down the chimney.
Up
and
the down,
stuff,
he has to
yeah.
touch his nose, and so the
And he
entire
turns
time,
into magic dust when he does it. When he goes up
So
and down.
finally,
This
like
is how he goes up and down chimneys.
Yeah.
the enemies are escaping. They have Trudy as a hostage. They like the rest of the family is safe, including Morgan Steele, aka Jean-Claude Van Dumbass. And so like Santa's like, okay, I have to go save her, and goes to save her. And so like there's just this like torn down house that they're fighting at.
Yeah. Final confrontation between a dude and Santa Claus.
Yeah,
And there's a chimney.
Yeah, it's an old
And the
house on
dude,
their
the
property.
dude's
yeah.
kind of winning because Santa Claus is pretty beat up at this point.
Yeah, John Leguizamo is beating up Santa Claus.
Which is a sentence that has never been said ever.
And there's this whole thing where he's like, Santa Claus knows who he is and was like, oh yeah, like because I didn't give you a bike when you were 8, you became evil. Like, go
Yeah.
fuck yourself.
Well, because he had an actual villain backstory, and he was like mad because like he never got what he wanted as a child and all this stuff.
Well, didn't it like it kind of like destroyed his family or something?
Well, yeah,
Like didn't like his like parents end up getting killed or something?
yeah. I mean, he said something like that, and Santa Claus was
Yeah.
like, he was like, "I'm here to bring joy to children. I don't get involved in people's lives."
Right.
But it was funny because like it's this whole it builds up this whole scene, and you're like, this dude's like, "Fuck you, Santa Claus," and then Santa Claus is like, "No, fuck you, man." It's like I can't save everyone. I'm just giving presents.
Yeah, what more do you want from me? So he ends up like there's this whole fight scene, which is a great fight scene. Santa gets fucked up.
Yeah.
And then he looks over and sees that dystopia, like the broken down fireplace.
So, I mean, like, isn't like Leguizamo like choking him?
Yeah.
yeah.
Next to the fireplace,
And he's
he,
in the process of dying.
he's about to die and like grabs his arm. It kind of says like I don't know, like Christmas magic or something. Some weird line.
He touches his nose.
And touches his nose and sucks the two of them through the chimney, but Santa is just magical dust. So now John Leguizamo is like from was it the Sigourney Weaver alien movie where like the giant baby alien gets sucked through the tiny hole of the fucking spaceship.
He just gets
John
turned into red
Leguizamo
mist.
gets crumpled and pulled through a chimney
And
explodes into a little bloody mess below.
It was so over the top violent and traditional Christmas Santa that you're like, oh my gosh!
Like what a insane, horrible, but also impactful, brutal way to end a fight scene.
Yes.
And then we have kind of the full story arc, almost like, I mean, like if we want to talk about another holiday movie like Elf, where like Santa is about to fail unless everybody fucking believes in him. Because everybody believes in the sled and Elf and gets the sled moving.
Yeah, well, he's shot. I mean, he was shot. He was beat
shot
up,
a bunch.
Stabbed.
He was about to die. And he literally dies.
Santa Claus dies at the end of this movie.
Leaves this plane of existence.
And the family just gathers around him. It's like, well, I believe in you. Yes, I believe in you.
Burning.
It was so cheesy.
They start burning their money to try and keep him warm. While Silent Night is playing in the background.
And it's
a very somber Silent Night.
He's covered in blood and gore.
Oh, so dead.
And it's this cheesy Christmas moment where it's like, I believe in Santa Claus too. And this music is
and
swelling.
but even like it's such a half-ass, like the daughter of Gertrude, like the main character's sister. I don't even know if you could call him a main character, but she's like, I guess I believe in you too.
Yeah. Do we have to burn all the money?
Yeah, so just burn like $200,000 for a dead
And
body.
there's this magical twinkling sound, and then Santa Claus wakes back up, and it was like
Christmas magic.
Christmas magic. I don't know how it works.
And then the reindeers show up at the end.
Yeah.
What did they bring with them? They brought the extra bag of presents.
We didn't even talk about one of the fight scenes. Santa is getting stabbed. He's like, someone's like trying to shiv him.
Yeah.
And he has his magical present sack.
Yeah,
and he just opens it up and is like
bottomless.
using it. And the guy, because it's magical, his hand goes straight in, is like stabbing presents.
It's like a
and pulling
black
it out.
hole or something. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's pulling out presents.
And then eventually he throws it into the guy grabs it from him and throws it into the fire. He's like, no, not the presents.
I just love how, like, at the end, when the dad is like, they're saying goodbye to Santa, and the dad's like, oh my gosh, thank you so much for saving our lives. I don't know how I could ever repay you. And Santa's like, well, you brought me back to life, so we'll call it even.
I mean, it just made me think, talking about like the way he interacted with the sidekicks, like him calling them out, and like he's like, I got you that Huffy bike when you were like 8. And like, you know, talking to the woman there.
Yeah, and he
so
knows
like
their
the
names.
the
Yeah.
sidekicks start believing in him. And John Leguizamo
The
still
henchman,
won't.
Yeah.
And like at one point, like the army that like the private army that Gertrude is like supposed to be coming to save him or save her as hostages are like the double team. Like they're like, no, we're actually working with Leguizamo. And when they're trying to get like the lay of the land, like the henchmen like, yeah, like we're fighting like some dude dressed like Santa, and like one of them's like, it might actually be the real Santa. Like, everyone's like, fucking what?
And he goes, what the fuck did she just say? I was like, nothing.
Because they think it's like a Santa impersonator, like a Santa for
like,
hire.
have you ever seen the Rick and Morty episode, like the Pickle Rick episode?
Oh.
Where it's like he's like in that like compound with all the guards, and they're like they're calling me the pickle man. Like it's like he comes for children that only eat half their food, like that waste their food. It's like he comes for me because I only eat half my sandwich.
The Legend of Solenia.
Solenia, the pickle man.
The pickle man.
No, and I love like Santa's character arc in this, because it's funny because like if you take that alone as a story element, it's genuinely heartwarming, which makes it funny that it's in this like super violent action movie.
Yeah.
Because Santa, like his character arc is like, man, I'm jaded. Like people are just selfish. They don't really care about generosity or kindness or goodness.
Yeah.
And he's so jaded, and he's like, I don't want to do Christmas anymore. We got to do it. And like over the course, like his interactions with his family, and they're a billionaire family,
Yeah.
and seeing them, or some of them, become better, and seeing the faith from the little girl. And by the end, Santa's like, you know what, man? I do want to give presents to boys and girls in the world. It's just like this. It's just really a heartwarming character
There's
arc
a lot
that's going
of
on.
complete
Yeah.
story arcs
And-
throughout that film.
And Brandon, you even said it best, like where it's like, hey, like This alone, this story arc alone could have been a movie. Like Fat Man. Remember we talked about Fat Man last year, which I watched with Puck?
I did notice a pattern between the movies you're recommending for Christmas. You're like, let's watch this
Objectively, I think Violent Night did what Fat Man wanted to be, but better.
But better. It is.
I agree.
I think the Fat Man takes itself a little too seriously, even though it is tongue in cheek. Like Walter Goggins is not a serious character in that film at all.
Yeah.
No.
But I think like the level of like camp and self-awareness of Violent Night made it a better film.
Yes, it's so self-aware, and it's like, look, this is silly, so let's just have fun.
Let's lean into it.
Yeah.
But like, okay, so you get the story arc where, okay, Santa Claus, he's been doing it for like 1,200 years. He's done. He wants out. And needs to find his passion to be Santa Claus again. Right. That's a storyline. That's a movie. You have a family that's just not really getting along. They've kind of lost what it means to be a family, but by the end, they reconnect as a family.
Yes.
That's a storyline right there as well. You have a father and a mother and a daughter. They're estranged. They're trying to figure out how to love it.
Christmas is for my parents to love each other again.
That's a storyline.
That's in this movie.
Yeah. That's a storyline right there. You have a bunch of fucking thieves that won $1 billion or 300 million, however much it is, and they're robbing people. That's a storyline right there.
And their belief in Santa, even though they are Scrooges, they start to believe in Santa Claus again as well.
The villains do.
As they are slowly killed by him.
They're killed by Santa Claus. Well, then you also have the billionaire people who are doing corrupt things, and then the son steals from them, and then they find
a lesson.
Yeah, and then he gets out from his mother's influence, and he learns how they shouldn't just care about his mother's money. Like, there's so many different story arcs at play in this, and they're not too deep, but they're just enough to keep you entertained and to keep you engaged in the movie.
And honestly, I know I talk about it a lot, but like this is the perfect movie for me because I turned my brain off. I got to hang out with one of my best friends. We just fucking laughed for an hour and a half, hour 45.
Cackled.
I literally almost puked from how hard I was laughing during this movie.
It does help to drink a little while you're watching this
I would
movie.
not.
This is not a movie to watch. I mean, I guess you could watch it sober.
Yeah.
But like, it's just it is. Like this is going to be a holiday tradition of mine. I think every year now is I think I'm going to have a night where I just make a bunch of fucking eggnog or get some winter lager or whatever, and I'm going to get drunk, hopefully with friends.
Yes,
ideally with friends, and we can all just sit there and laugh together and watch this ridiculous Christmas movie.
Yeah,
because at the end there is kind of a feel good aspect to it.
It definitely leaves you positive.
It still has that reaffirming, joyful ending that makes you feel good about Christmas.
You know what this movie is? I'll tell you right now what this movie is going to become over the next several years. This is going to be that movie that no one's ever seen and you introduce to people and you're like, dude, have you seen Violent Night? And they're like, what? No, what is that movie? And you're like, we're going to watch this movie. You're going to love. This is going to be that movie that we introduce to people and they watch it and they're like, holy shit, this is awesome. Like, how have I not seen this movie? And you're going to be like, right? Like, how has no one seen this?
It's so much fun.
I'm leaving to go to Idaho to hang out with my family. You both have met my folks. Should I take them to go see this movie?
So watch it with your brother.
Yeah, there it is.
Dad, yes. Mom, no.
So my favorite
I think we talked about it last year, but I recommended Fat Man to my mom and dad, and they still will not let me live that down. But yeah, Brandon, what's your favorite scene?
My favorite scene in the whole movie, though, is when so there's the shitty daughter of the billionaire woman, and she's got her boyfriend who is the actor
Alva Lightstone.
Her boyfriend's the actor, and
Morgan
he's
Steele.
He's an action actor, and he's full of himself.
Oh God, I know what scene you're talking about.
And he's talking the whole time. He's like, "Man, if these guys weren't armed, I could take down 3, probably 4 of them just right now."
Isn't he opened up in the movie talking about how he would have fixed 9/11?
Yeah. If I was on that plane, it would have gone down without hitting those buildings. And you're like, what the fuck did he just?
Do you know that's the first way we're introduced to him.
Yeah, you know that's actually they're making fun of somebody, right?
Have you heard about this? This is not a Steven Seagal thing, is it?
No, Mark Wahlberg in 2012, I want to say, came out and said if he was on one of those planes in 9/11, they would have not gone down. I'm not kidding you. This is real.
I just love how so they've been
Hell
kidnapped by these terrorists, right? And the terrorists keep like terrorizing them and being mean to them, and so the stress, he gets increasingly stressed out until finally he loses it and
Snaps.
then actually fights a few of them, and he beats up like 2 of them. He actually beats them up
with some
karate chops and
this is
stuff.
a guy who's watched a Van Damme movie and is just acting it out.
And but he just gets lucky.
He gets real lucky.
And then after he takes out those 2 guys, he just turns and dives out the window and runs through the yard to get it. He just runs away. And he's like, I got him. He takes off and saves him. I was dying.
It's so bad.
Shit,
I love it.
What was your guys' favorite?
Even coming down to that, talking about they've been torturing these people, torture with a literal nutcracker.
That's right.
And the threat of using a nutcracker to crack a nut. Nut being testicle.
Yeah. It's just so over the top. It's so over the top.
Yeah, because what is it? They put the main guy, Jason, the main son, his finger in it.
They break his finger and then
in the nutcracker.
Nothing happens. So then John Leguizamo
Dude,
was
I gotta
get
say,
the big one and put his nut in it. You know?
My favorite scene had to be when Santa Claus comes back after murdering the dude with the star.
Yeah.
And it's just on fire. I mean, dude, it's just so good. Because like I was saying earlier, it's in the background. They don't really address it. It's just
a prop at that point.
Yeah.
He's on the walkie with the little girl and they're having a moment.
And there's
dude's
literally
on fire.
a burning carcass behind him. What about you, Puck?
Yeah.
I think the one that garnered the most reaction out of me was the fake out Home Alone, where he calls out, even directly calls it a Home Alone.
Yeah.
If you're gonna Home Alone somebody, you can't let them see the prank, and then steps on the broken staircase and a nail goes straight through his mouth. That got a visceral reaction out of me.
Yes, I mean, I'm telling you,
I shouted.
Everyone in the theater was like, "Oh!" I mean, it was a moment. Dude.
We definitely had to have. Puck and I had to piss people off that episode.
Yeah.
I mean, so here's the thing. Normally, I am such a courteous, polite, self-aware person when I'm at the movie theaters.
Yeah.
But a movie like that calls for participation.
Yeah. Yeah.
How could you not sit there and laugh out loud at if you were like, "Hey, shut up, I'm trying to watch this movie and take it seriously." Get the fuck out of here.
Dude, The Dark Knight. This is some Nolan epic.
Yeah, exactly.
This is, hey, don't go in that room. Don't step on that. Talk to interact.
Because it's silly. It's ridiculous. Everyone needs to know. Guys, this is stupid. Come on now.
I'm not sitting here in Schindler's List fucking throwing out F-bombs and cackling laughing. It is a B movie that is perfectly self-aware.
Yes.
It is begging you to respond to what they are giving you.
As well, Puck and I, we saw it on a late Thursday night. Yeah. So we were one of 10 groups of people. So people. There it wasn't it was a packed theater.
Everyone's watching Avatar.
Yeah. Everybody was laughing and having a good time. Yeah. I think we were a little bit more participatory. Whether or not that was wrong or not, I don't know.
I don't care.
Yeah.
As someone who is a frequent moviegoer and is aware of what it feels like to have someone that is participating in a way that they shouldn't be participating with, it's not like I was just sitting here talking to you like we are now, not even paying attention to the movie. I was responding to the movie itself. and
I just love that you're like, I need to explain this.
Yeah. But I think it's important. I think there are movies that you can do that with.
We have to get into some trivia now. But before we do, out of 5 candy canes, how many candy canes would you give this movie, Brando? 1 to 5.
1 to 5. I think I did rate this on Letterboxd. It's a 3.5 or 4. It was good. I think I'd give it a, I don't know, 3.5 or 4.
Okay.
Because it was fun. It's fun. I think it's a fun Christmas tradition. You know what I mean? I don't want to overstate it, but it's no, you sit down, it's fun. It's oh my gosh, this is ridiculous. What is this movie?
Puck, what about you? On a scale of 1 to 5, how many
5 stars.
Cans?
Brilliant film.
So brilliant.
Brilliant.
So honestly, for me,
no, I would give. I mean, it's not a perfect movie. but it is a perfect movie for what you want out of the movie in this. I mean, I don't know if you can call it a genre. It really kind of stands by itself for what it does.
Yeah.
Well, maybe not. I think there are a lot of movies that have attempted to do what this movie has done so well.
Yeah.
And a lot of
Bad Santa is an irreverent Christmas movie.
Yes,
like that kind of
but
thing.
but not in, like that. That is just a real human story.
Yeah.
This has a fantastical element.
Yeah, it's
to
not
it,
even
right?
realistic. Yeah.
And I think a lot of the movies that end up doing something like this are like straight to like Netflix or Hulu or Amazon or whatever. This is one of the few that it actually makes it to theaters.
Yeah.
I think if it wasn't for David Arbor, it would not have been.
I mean, like David Harbour, brilliant actor and like a great choice for what this was, where he can play this hyper violent, brutal dude, but also be a loving, endearing.
I really hope they make a second one
that you kind of want to hug.
But
right?
What about you, Owen? What would you rate it?
For me, man, honestly, like this is like a 4.7 at Candy Canes for me.
All right, yeah.
Like, is it a good movie? Like, and standards of like cinema? No.
Yeah.
But it's escapism. It's fun. It made me laugh. It's over the top ridiculous. I fucking loved it. And you know, I keep on saying Brandon and I have very different ways of rating movies. And mine is not like is it a cinema master? 5 is not a cinema masterpiece to me. 5 is I fucking loved the movie and it deserves a 5.
That's fair.
Yeah. All right. It's funny that you're here, Puck, but
it's trivia time.
It's trivia time. Can you say it live in the studio, Puck?
It's trivia time.
So yeah, we've talked about it before, but if you don't know, Puck is the voice of It's Trivia Time.
Yeah, I'm still waiting on those royalties.
Yeah, well, you know,
we are too.
How much money did I buy? How much money did I spend on Jaeger that night?
With your company card.
Shut it. All right. Last week, I kept the streak going, and Brando, you have to spin the wheel of shit today. So go ahead and land on hot sauce.
Here we go.
Fire.
Chicken, is it chicken head?
Chicken head. Yeah, chicken head. So up top on the right, you're going to have to wear that chicken head. I'm just happy it wasn't hot sauce. It's, that white furry thing right there.
Isn't that like a slang chicken head?
What does that mean? Something?
Like just like kind of like a, I can look it up. I don't even know what it is. We may have to cut this.
We had to cut that. Dead air. Oh, man. Brando, you have never looked better in your entire life.
All right, can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah, we can hear you just fine.
Yo, there's a song called Chicken Head.
Brando, give me a look. Give me a look for the gram. There we go.
Walk, chicken, walk, chicken heads. Walk, chicken. I need to listen to this.
All right.
Is this a song that you're
That's
playing?
Apparently.
It's called...
Is it about podcasters?
It's called Chicken Head, and it's Project Pat is the
All right.
name.
So, Puck, you got some trivia for us today?
I mean, who wrote Chicken Head?
Puck did. Puck wrote
Project
Chicken Head.
Pat. Yo, the second this podcast is over, we're listening to this.
All right.
Because I don't know if we can get away with it.
No, we definitely can't.
Okay. All right. I didn't notice a lot of things in the moment, so I'm literally just going on a website that has all of the Easter eggs. What's up? I really haven't been paying attention, and now I'm looking into the lifeless eyes of the chicken head.
Soulless eyes.
Truly.
If you want to see this, check out our Instagram.
Truly haunting.
I'll take it off.
Jesus.
Plus, it's all really hot.
Good.
Yeah. All right, Puck, what's the first question?
I'm scrolling. Okay. So Beverly D'Angelo
Yes.
co-stars as the family matriarch Gertrude Lightstone. She played, we've already discussed it, Ellen Griswold in the National Lampoon film.
Mhm.
How many films did Beverly D'Angelo star in?
For the National Lampoon.
For the National Lampoon Vacation films.
Oh, man. Okay, I'm thinking.
Okay, so there's that one, there's this one, there's that other one. Then there was the sequel to that one.
I think I have a guess.
And then, okay, yes, I think I know this. Brando,
Was it 5 movies?
I'm going to say 5 as well.
The answer is 3.
3?
3?
She played Ellen Griswold in 3 National Lampoon Vacation films.
That's all?
Yep.
So there's the Christmas Vacation.
Christmas Vacation.
I don't have the list, so this is just going
Oh,
off
all
of
right.
The European Vacation, and then the one where they went to
the National
Wally World?
Lampoon Vacation films.
Yeah.
She played
Didn't they do it?
Ellen Griswold in 3.
Okay, so I think this is actually wrong because there's Vacation, Christmas Vacation, Vegas Vacation. She played in those 3, but wasn't she in the reboot of Vacation
wasn't
with
there
Ed
a
Helms?
Europe Vacation too?
But she was, but that she was not the wife in that one.
She wasn't?
No,
I thought
I'm looking that up right
She-
now.
like this is her playing the character Ellen Griswold.
I thought she was in the European Vacation also.
All right, hold on.
I know. This is going to bug me.
Okay, so she was in Vacation, which was the reboot. So it's 4.
So
But
4.
did she play Ellen Griswold in
Yes, I'm looking at her IMDb.
Yeah, because Chevy Chase, they were like old.
Yeah,
And then their kids were the parents and they had their grandkids.
Is that a National Lampoon?
I don't.
that Mark's
Oh,
National
no,
Lampoon?
it's not a National Lampoons. That's right. Okay, so I guess.
Boom.
So,
Even then, it would only be 4 new.
yeah, I was about to say we were wrong.
So
either way.
National European
We're just
Christmas.
even more wrong now.
So wait, no. So yeah, here we go. National Lampoon's Vacation, National Lampoon's European Vacation,
She wasn't European.
National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, which
Yeah.
is 3, and then that's right because they lost National Lampoon's, and then it just became Vegas Vacation and Vacation. So it's yes,
But she was in those two.
And
So
that's
we-
really what I said, you jackass.
no, she's in 3.
But I mean, she was in those other ones
National
also.
Yes.
Lampoon.
But they weren't National Lampoon. But that's what I was thinking, though.
So we were both right, but also both wrong.
We knew it.
Yeah.
Those vacation movies.
Yeah.
You know what we're talking about.
All right.
Great content, guys.
Yeah, here it is. All right, Puck, next question that we're going to debate for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Not that one. Okay.
So prepared.
Well, we just got done playing D&D all night,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
we didn't.
While pulling presents from his magical sack for weapons, Santa finds a copy of this Christmas movie on Blu-ray,
On Blu-ray.
making
man.
a reference to this iconic film.
I know what it is.
You know what it is?
I do, yeah.
Dude, man, I haven't rewatched it since Puck and I saw it. So
But I only saw it once too. But,
but you saw it yesterday. I saw it 2 weeks ago.
No. What is today? Tuesday.
Tuesday, and you saw it
Okay.
yesterday, which was Monday.
That's true. I did see it
Yeah.
yesterday.
But
But so don't make excuses.
oh god. Okay, so
But this part jumped out at me because I was like, "Oh, hey, that was cool."
okay, is it Home Alone?
It's Die Hard,
It is Die Hard.
Oh,
Yeah. and I was like, "Nice little meta moment there."
yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
Speaking of Die Hard,
Okay.
Die Hard 2.
Ooh,
There are 2, I would argue, direct references to Die Hard 2
ooh.
in this movie.
Oh man,
I know what one of them is.
So here's my thing.
I'll make this a 2-point question.
Okay.
Die Hard 2 is the worst of the Die Hards.
Yeah, and
That's not what we're talking about. Don't
So-
even try and start another argument. Just answer the fucking
Like, oh my
question.
God.
well,
Alright,
the newer
sorry.
ones are pretty bad.
Yeah,
too.
but Die Hard 2 is worse than the newer ones. So I haven't seen Die Hard 2 in a while.
I
You
know-
can do Die Hard another time.
I do. I
You're
do,
on my time now. This is a Violent Night question.
I do know what one of them is, and I'm trying to rack my brain for what the other one is.
I literally have no idea. So Brando, what's the first one?
Okay, one of them is the bad guys in white on snowmobiles. Like that's one of the references because they did that that turncoats. Why are you? Is that right?
What's phrase your answer here?
The bad guys specifically on snowmobiles. There's bad guys on snowmobiles wearing white with machine guns,
Okay.
and they're like they were supposed to be good guys, but they turned out to be bad guys.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll give the point to you.
All right, I don't.
In Die Hard 2, a twist reveals the U.S. Special Forces are actually working for the bad guys,
Okay.
just like the hostage team.
The rescue team.
The rescue
Yeah.
team is actually working for
All right,
John
Yeah,
Leguizamo.
but I mean they were on snowmobiles.
Yeah.
That's the thing
Yes,
that came to mind. I was like, oh yeah,
okay.
this,
What is the next one? Puck?
A gruesome death involving an icicle.
Oh.
man. Okay.
In Die Hard 2, a shard of ice is used to stab a bad guy in the eye. while one of the intruders is
Okay, I need to
impaled
rewatch
by
Die
a
Hard
knife.
too, apparently.
Do you
Apparently.
though?
I don't know. All right, next question, Puck.
How many can you milk from this
Ah,
website?
godly. All right. So, in the film Scrooged,
Ooh.
Okay.
there is a movie hidden within it that would seem to be the direct inspiration for Violent Night.
Oh, God, yes.
What is the name of that movie?
Oh, I am totally lost on this one. Owen looks like he might know. That's bothering me.
I know it because it literally was like someone had a heart attack while watching the preview for this movie, and Scrooge, played by Bill Murray, goes, "We can't ask for press better than this."
Yeah.
And it's like there's like nuclear war, drugs on the street. Oh man, I can't remember the name of the movie. Santa Claus Nuclear Winter. I don't know.
I'm gonna call it
Nice
the
name. I like that.
the Santa. I don't know. I got
Reindeer
nothing.
Games.
Oh yeah, there we go.
I don't know.
With Ben
The
Affleck.
night the reindeer died.
Oh God.
In the film, within the film, Santa is in danger when a group of assassins carries out a siege on his workshop, which does kind of sound like Fat Man.
Fat Man, yeah.
With the help of an arsenal of weapons in Lee Majors,
Oh, that's right.
Santa must fight back against the armed invaders.
Was he the $1 million man?
That's the $1 million man.
Yeah.
Now $1 million is gonna get you shit.
This Violent Night makes a very tongue-in-cheek reference to the bullies in A Christmas Story.
Ooh.
How does it do that?
And the bullies in Christmas Story.
If you could even tell me the two names of the bullies in A Christmas... There's two boys. They're the bully. You have the one that
Dude,
wears
I
the
haven't watched Christmas
coonskin
Story
hat
forever.
and
Yeah.
the one that's in the background just kind of laughing all the time. If you can tell me their names, I will give you a point. I'll give you 2 points if you can tell me the reference in Violent Night.
I can't give you their names.
Dude, that's wow.
Were there two terrorists named after them?
No.
That's all I got.
Oh man, is it Gertrude and Bertrude?
No.
That should have been one. That Bertrude thing.
Bertrude, Bert. Yeah.
Bertrude's not even a real name. I named my son after mom.
Man, I don't even know this one either. Wow.
The neighborhood bullies named Grover Dill and Scut Farkas in A Christmas Story.
What?
There is a reference to them in Violent Night when the names Farkas and Dill are briefly seen on the side of a catering van. That the
Sure.
invaders enter the estate by posing
Oh gosh.
as hired help.
Oh, all right.
As the caterer.
We got time for one more question, Puck. Give us the last question.
Give me the three obvious Christmas references. Who can name the most of the henchmen's Christmas references?
Like their names?
Yeah. They're Christmas reference names.
You want to go first, Brando?
Just go back and forth until someone
Yeah.
can't say one.
Well, there's Mr. Scrooge,
Scrooge. Tinsel.
Candy Cane,
Krampus.
Sugar Plum.
Oh man.
There's one. I think there's only one more.
No, there's more than one more. I
Yeah.
know one more.
Because Krampus was the really
was the psycho
one
Yeah.
at the end. Scrooge, Krampus, Sugar Plum, Candy Cane, Tinsel.
I know who one in particular is. I
Oh
do
man. Elf? I don't know.
know. Gingerbread.
Ginger. Fuck, that's right.
He-
Okay.
He was the one that got Home Alone.
Yeah.
Wasn't there a Frosty also?
Frosty was the last one I was
Okay.
looking for.
God damn, Brando.
But there was a gingerbread because gingerbread was
Yeah.
the one that got Home Alone.
Yeah. All right. So, Brando, I don't know if this has ever happened. This might be the first time in, oh my God, in Banter and Such history.
What?
I'm looking through our points here. This is the first time ever
Yeah.
I've gotten 0 points.
Did you get 0 points?
I got 0 points today. And you beat me with 3.
Tragic.
Did you give me a point per gingerbread and frosty?
No, I just gave 1.
I think I got 17 points today.
You're,
That's what I'm
so the
saying.
final score right now is Brando, you have 55 and I have 53.
All right. As always, Puck, you've been amazing. There's a reason why you are the most frequent guest we've had on the show.
I think I actually can hold that title now.
Yeah, Nick is going to be pissed.
Yeah.
Well, so I actually thought about it after the Thor episode where she was like, I think we're tied. I'm definitely I've got at least a 2 episode.
I think so now.
Lead on anybody else.
Yeah. Well, because there's funny. I mean, you're a funny guy, and you are the host of your own show now too. So where can people find you, and tell us a little bit about your show?
You can find me on my personal Pucky Terrahawk on Instagram, PUCKY_TERRAHAWK, as well as the co-host with my friends Spencer and Alex on the Fresh New podcast on the Helios Network. Master and Debaters, the show with hard opinions on soft topics. We just like to debate dumb bullshit and make each other laugh.
Yeah, I love it. It's great. And everyone remember to check out our Instagram and Patreon website. All the links will be in the show notes.
And we're proud members of the Helios Network, a collection of great podcasts made by regular people.
Yeah, check us out at www.theheliosnetwork.com to see some of our other amazing podcasts like Master and Debaters.
Check out Master and Debaters!
Master and Debaters!
It's your new favorite show.
It's
it is
great.
Hilarious. Well, I love you all, and thank you so much for listening to this week's episode of Banter and Such.
We are going on Christmas vacation.
Yay!
Christmas vacation.
Are we going with the mom?
Yes.
So this will be her 6th appearance.
Yes. So there will be no episode next week because it's Christmas and New Year's Eve. So enjoy a banter-free week.
Go listen to an episode you haven't heard before in our archive. But we're only taking 1 week off, and then we will be back to talk about, I think our next one up is to talk about Avatar.
So I have to watch the first one now. So
you've never seen the first one?
I've never seen Avatar.
Have you seen the second one yet?
I have not seen.
This is going to be interesting because this is going to be interesting.
Have you already seen it?
I have, yeah.
Ooh.
How bad is it?
I can't wait to hear it.
I don't want to tell you. I want to wait till the episode. I don't want to spoil it. Well, I'm Brando.
And I'm Owen.
And I helped.
Until next time, may your week be filled with BS.
Jingle bell, jingle bell rock. Jingle bells swing and jingle bells ring. Snowing and blowing up bushels of fun. Now the jingle hop has begun. Jingle bell, jingle bell rock. Jingle bells chime in jingle bell time. Dancing and prancing in Jingle Bell Square. In the frosty air. What a bright time. It's the right time to rock the night away. Jingle bell time is a swell time to go riding in a one-horse sleigh. Giddy up, jingle horse, pick up your feet. Jingle around the clock. Mix and a mingle to a jingling beat. That's the Jingle Bell Rock. Jingle bell rock. Jingle bells chime in jingle bell time. Dancing and prancing in Jingle Bell Square.